Hi amigas, welcome back to another one of my videos. For those that don't know me, my name is Beverly, and for those that are returning, thank you guys so much for joining me today. In today's video, if you guys read the description, my printer is down. Yes, my pink DTF printer where I make all my DTF prints and I sell in my shop, it's currently down and it's been down for about a week. Let me fill you guys in on what's going on. Story time. So about a week ago, I was printing a lot of different prints that I have for this huge local order for this clinic, and it just happened to be that I was in the room, but I was doing 10 other things at once, and the film got caught. And of course, we all know when the film gets caught, the print head, if it's printing, it's still going to keep doing its thing. So of course, as lovely as my print head was, it was still printing, and then the paper, the film got jammed, so it just kind of going like all over the place as it was still printing. So that was a total nightmare. Honestly, I was very sad, and I was like praying and hoping that the print head was not damaged. But I stopped it as soon as I could. I did several print head cleanings. I did nozzle checks. And then to my surprise, which I kind of figured, my nozzle prints were coming out really bad. And that's when I started freaking out. And I was like, no, I have this huge order. And you know when you're in a bind and you're like, what do I do? So then I started thinking maybe I should outsource my prints, things like that. But then everyone has different colors whenever, you know, you own different printers. So I didn't want to ruin that because I already had half the order printed, and I didn't want to lose out on not using all of my prints to then continue. So it was a whole mess. What I ended up doing, I was totally honest. I reached out to my customers. I said, hey, there's going to be a delay because of this. They were okay with it. I ordered a new print head from my vendor. And if you guys are wondering how much the print head cost me, it was about $200. Now, as you guys know, I'm always that type of person to give you all the info on where to find the best prices and stuff. If you guys think that is a little too expensive, which I feel like that's kind of what normally print heads are coming out to be, you guys can always check out a different spot. I will link it down in the description so you guys can have options. But I did purchase mine from my vendor. It took about a week to get here from China. That was with air shipping, of course, like about a week and 2 days or something, to be exact. I don't know. And it's here. The print head is here. Now I'm just hoping that I don't have to actually replace the print head and I can save it a little bit longer. I know what you're thinking, Beverly, if you have the print head, just freaking replace it already. But you know what? I'm the type of person that likes to figure out things and see if I can fix things first, because you guys, I have a huge feeling that the print head is possibly clogged, because when you get nozzle prints and you're missing color, part of that could be because your print head is clogged. So I'm going to go ahead and try today to first troubleshoot with the print head that I have and try to push water through it and some cleaning solution to just get it unclogged if it is. And if worst comes to worst at the end, and if we have to replace it, we will. But first, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and show you guys my little table setup of things that you guys will need possibly to do this operation on your printer. And we're going into surgery today. Yes, we are. And also show you guys a print before we actually take the print head out to show you currently how it's doing now. And I don't know. We'll see. Let's get started. These are some of the tools that we might possibly use. So I just kind of wanted to show you all. We're going to be using like this little syringe with this little piece added onto it, just so we can push liquid or water through the print head. This is a single-use syringe only. We might also need this one with the longer tube on it. Also a single-use syringe only that's a little bit thicker, that can carry a little bit more liquid. I have some extreme cleaning solution from DTG Pro. This is the, again, extreme cleaning solution. We have a screwdriver to remove some pieces from the printer. Possibly might need some Ziploc baggies. You guys will see in a minute why. We have some foam swabs for the printer to clean up any mess around it or on it. We also have some non-fragrance wet wipes just to clean up any mess. Of course, a set of gloves, some paper towels for any extra mess or cleanup, and then we do have a cup of lukewarm water in this one, and then a cup that's empty, just a disposable cup. You guys will see why. I want to show you guys the results of what a print looks like after the damage that I believe happened to my print head. You guys can see automatically there the lines whenever I do my nozzle print checks. They're very scratchy looking. The colors are now kind of off, and you kind of see very lightly some graininess and some lines, especially like on the darker colors. You can see it. That weren't happening before. My colors before were a lot more vibrant, and this is kind of the result of what happened after the paper jam and the print head was swiping side to side continuously, and before I was able to stop it. I did obviously cure it just so you guys can see. This was one of the first ones that I did. Today we're going to go ahead and do one last nozzle check and a color strip test just to see how the colors are printing. So let's go ahead and do that before we actually get into the harder part. So now as I'm looking at my colors, they're looking a lot more vivid and brighter than they were the last couple of days. Mind you, I did have to do like 2 or 3 print head cleanings. I did do about 3 or 4 nozzle print heads. And even though the print head nozzle checks are kind of like scattered, I'm looking at the colors and they look pretty good. So we're still going to probably go in and do the actual manual print head cleaning from inside just so we can see if there's a difference in our nozzle prints after we clean the print head manually. Okay, so after I have done my print head nozzle checks and after I showed you guys like the last color strip test that I did, I actually just printed a new one and I do have some crazy results to show you guys. Now, these are the colors from today. The top one is the one that I'm holding. It's not cured or anything, so I just wanted to show you guys a close-up on how bright and vivid these colors are. This is crazy because one, my nozzle prints are pretty broken up. We are still going to go in and do a nozzle like head cleaning, like a actual manual one, but I just wanted to show you guys the comparison of the colors as how they were maybe a week ago until how they are now. They are a lot brighter now. The bottom one is the bright one from today. This is the duller one from the past week. For some reason, after many nozzle head cleanings, the color strip got better. The nozzle check is still pretty bad. So we're still going to go in and do that manual flush and continue. Before we do start, I want to go ahead and let you guys know the printer must be on. That way we are able to easily move the print head over to the left side. You don't want to force it on your own. So make sure for at least this initial part, the printer is on. We're going to go in and use our screwdriver to remove these 2 screws off of our print head, as well as the other one on the other side. Now we're going to move the printhead over to the left a little bit. Now at this point, I will go ahead and turn off the actual printhead. Just make sure your printhead is away from the actual capping station. I'm just going to kind of center it more to the middle. But after it's centered, then I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. Now all you want is it to be open and exposed and just kind of sitting somewhere in the center, so you have kind of ways to maneuver around the sides if you need to. We are going to start disconnecting all of the dampers from the actual print head. So let's go ahead and just gently, one by one, pull them out. Once they're pulled out and out of the way, out of the print head, we probably want to go ahead and secure them. That way they're not leaking all over the place. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is grab my little Ziploc bag and then just kind of have them sit in there until we are done. And then just kind of move them over to the back like so. You guys can see that I just moved them out of the way in a bag so they're not leaking everywhere. And you can see this is the mess we're left with, but it's going to be okay. Now again, with our screwdriver, we're going to go ahead and take out the screws that you see there and back there as well. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove these and make sure you do not touch the print head at all. So we're going to slowly take these strips out. Using some tape, I'm just going to kind of move these back and just tape it back to the machine to, again, where you're not touching any of this little silver part of any side. Now for the cool part, so you guys can see. This is the actual print head that is printing on our printers side to side. And this is where the dampers go in, where all the colors are. I know it's a little hard to see right now, but this is where they go in color by color. You guys can kind of tell the white, and the white goes there, the yellow, the magenta, the blue, and then maybe the black there. Well, this is the actual thing doing its thing underneath. This print head down here is very delicate, so it is super important that you never really touch it. And if there's any scratches to it, you will possibly be able to tell down here, which in my case, I can't really tell straight off the bat. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys how delicate this little piece could be, and also how expensive it could be. This print head for my printer is the XP600 print head, since that's the type of printer that I have on mine. And I just want to let you know that this little piece, even though it's super small, it could be really expensive. I believe print heads for the XP600, starting off, I've seen them around $150 to $200. This one specifically, to replace on my printer from my vendor, would be about $200. So it is super important you take care of it as best as you can, and you know, it doesn't get damaged. So today, since I did see some colors missing from my nozzle strip test, I'm actually going to go ahead and flush the print head out by putting lukewarm water through these top damper sides and then just kind of seeing what comes out through this side, and also trying to clean around it as best as I can without actually touching it with any fingerprints or anything directly on here. Now I know there is some people out there that they actually do go in and clean their print head with an actual foam swab, and they just kind of clean it. Now that is all up to everyone's preference. Me personally, I don't, because I'm just scared since these are so delicate they're going to mess up. But I have seen some ladies over on some Facebook groups from the HAOLIC use a cleaning solution, not specifically this one, but a different one that they might get off of Amazon. I have one that I will show you guys now, and this is the one that I most likely think that with the foam swab you would probably clean on it. But again, these are super delicate, so it's super important for you to be very careful. So we're not going to actually do that today. Instead, I'm going to flush some water through it, and then also maybe do this one that is more of the green tint. It is the Extreme Cleaning Solution from DTG Pro, and this one says for flushing of ink, tubing, or to unclog stubborn clogs in print heads. So this would be the right solution to use in this case to see if I can get more clogs to come out. So this is what I'm going to show you guys today. Okay, we have our empty cup here. We have the print head here. We're just going to kind of like sit it around the cup, obviously holding it. You don't want to scratch the bottom again. Be very mindful of that. And we are going to grab our small syringe to start off. We're going to fill it with water here in the background. And slowly, not too much pressure because you don't want to damage anything, pushing it through and just allowing the water to come through the bottom. And you guys can see there some of the white was coming through on that end. I'm going to grab more and just continue to flush out. Now that we have done all the water cleaning and we try to clean out as best as we could the print head, we're going to go ahead and use this DTG Pro Extreme Cleaning Solution in our syringe as well. I filled it up and we're going to pass it through and see how well it can get everything else out. If anything else, of course. We're hoping there's not, but there can always be a chance. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this foam swab and my cleaning solution for the print heads from DTG Pro. I'm just using a clean swab, kind of taking some of the excess off. I'm not going to actually touch the actual print head from the center, but I am going to clean around it gently, just to make sure all of that gooey stuff, any things that are sticking, will actually be removed. So here is our print head. It is now cleaned around it. We pushed liquid through the print head. We didn't touch the actual print head. This is the back side of where the dampers are supposed to be placed. I'm just kind of letting it dry for a few hours before we put it back in to see if it actually helps anymore with our prints and if it's good enough to where we don't have to actually replace. I know there is some scratching on print heads. I think that's pretty average because they swipe side to side on film, but we're just gonna leave it for a few hours before we put it back in. These are the results of the mess that we have. It's not too bad. I thought it was gonna be worse. And here is some water that was still left over, and then the one that we actually ended up using with the cleaning solution. We took a lot of nasty stuff out, so I'm hoping that it was the case. And once everything's done, we'll put it back together. So that is where you charge the ink hitting start, and then after 10 or 15 seconds hit stop. Once it's fully charged into the print head, then I went ahead and did one print head cleaning, which I will do another one, and then we'll print some nozzle strips. We'll do another one. Okay, and then we're going to do some nozzle checks up here where it says adjust nozzle status. We're going to do a few of those. So after various test strips, I have finally came to my conclusion. This one I had showed you guys the print before. Maybe on camera it might look pretty bright, but there was some like missing colors, some lining, some graininess, and of course our nozzle prints were coming out obviously very bad. And when you see this, that means your print head is either clogged or I would assume scratched. So I went ahead and cleaned our print head as best as we could. We still kept getting some broken up nozzle. It got better, but it wasn't 100% better. The colors started looking kind of faded again. I don't know what happened as compared to the print that we did before we actually cleaned it out. But I just kind of wanted to show you that this is what goes into a DTF printer. Definitely not easy, but I definitely didn't think that unclogging or pushing, you know, liquid cleaning solution through the print head was hard either. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys. These are the colors. In person, they do look a little light and grainy. So I just kind of wanted to show you. These were the first ones I did after I did the cleaning. They're very dull. Then it kind of got better, but it's still not to where I want it to be. So with this being said, amigas, I have determined I'm just going to go ahead and switch it out using a new print head that I got from them. Let me show you. This is our new print head. It looks exactly the same as the one that I took out. It's right in here. It's obviously clean because it's new. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the process and replace our print head. Once I have fully replaced the print head, I will come back and do a print for you guys, and I'm hoping our nozzle checks and everything is so much better. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to just skip through all that, but I'm going to change it out. Okay, amigas, so the worst happened. Of course, you guys saw I had to end up replacing my print head. I honestly did not want to do it because I wanted to really try so hard to save it, and as much as I wanted to save it, it was just not possible. Like, the breakage on my nozzle prints were super bad, and I know one thing for a fact that's super important. No matter what printer you have, if it's sublimation, EcoSolvent, any printer, the nozzle checks are super important. I hope you guys are listening to this part, and I'm going to repeat myself. The nozzle checks are super important. Don't ever underestimate it. Don't ever ignore them. If you ever see any breakage or anything, always know that it could be a clogged print head, it can be a scratch print head, or something is happening for the color not to be going through and kind of leaving you perfect nozzle prints every single time. So once, of course, I saw that and it wasn't getting fixed even after I did the cleaning, trying to unclog the print head myself, which I thought that was the issue, I did notice there was like 2 little minor scratch on my print heads, and I honestly try to stick it through. You guys saw I put the print head, everything back in. I did some testing. The colors were not coming out as good anymore after I did like a color strip test. The nozzle checks were still broken up, and at that point I just decided, quit wasting time. You have the print head, let's go ahead and replace it. You guys didn't see me replace it because it was literally the same steps of taking it apart and putting it back in. It's just a new piece, but I wanted to share with you guys now how my colors are starting to look. Now, I did actually leave a message for my technicians because I did replace the print head now officially. And you guys can see the color strip is a lot better. But specifically, like only on the black, I see a little bit of breakage. Just very, very minor. Everything else is perfect. It's not missing any color. But this is just kind of how it looks. Just so you guys can see. It's really only the black that's kind of skipping a little bit, but it's weird because it is a new print head. And this is how the colors look. Amazing as before. Now with my new print head, everything is super, super good. Awesome. The colors are vibrant again. They're back to regular normal life. Like they're back to normal. That's what I meant to say. I am very, very excited about this. I did want to share some tips though before we finish off today's video. Just talking a little bit more about the importance of maintaining your printers. It is super important to keep up with your maintenance. You guys saw in the video how I did an extra deep cleaning around the capping station, around the actual print head, and I removed the print head itself to clean it more. And if that's something that can help you guys in the future, go ahead and take that information and do it. Now, obviously, aside from that, doing your print head cleanings and nozzle checks on the regular basis whenever you're printing is super important as well. Another tip that I want to say and is super important to have, now that we're learning from this, make sure to always have a print head on hand. Like those are super important. Don't be like me and wait a week. If you guys need it, you guys will have it on hand. Always have a print head on hand. Another couple tips that I want to give you guys is make sure that your film is always laying flat. It's always aligned in the middle. You're not running out of film, and that it's also not too close to the edge or too close to a paper trimmer if you have one attached to your printer, because that can again cause a paper jam, to mess up your film, to scratch your print head, and the horror story starts all over again. My experience, this is totally mine, but I want to reiterate, it's so important to make sure the film is laying flat. You can't walk away from it. You should still be in the same room as it. I was, and it happened, so it can happen at any time. But we're learning from our mistakes, amigas, and I just kind of wanted to share these extra couple tips with you guys from what I've noticed has helped me. And yeah, so this is it for today's video, amigas. If you guys like what you guys saw, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the post notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video, and leave me a nice little comment down below if you watched this whole video and whatever you want to see next. I want to thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.